Item number 3 is an application from Duke Energy Progress for approval of a certificate of environmental compatibility and public convenience and necessity, and motion for waiver of notice and hearing to construct approximately 380 feet of 230 kV transmission line in Nash County, North Carolina. The public staff has reviewed the application and recommends approval of the certificate and granting the motion for waiver and notice of hearing as filed.
Move approval of staff item number 3.
I'll second it.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that the item be approved as recommended by the public staff. Are there questions or discussion on the motion? All right, go ahead, Commissioner Tucker.
Does this tap line have anything to do with the Carbon Plan Selma Clayton line that's in the Carbon Plan? Will that tap into that, or is that in a close enough proximity? I know where Selma and Clayton is, and I know where Nash County is because you used to live there. So, I mean, that's a long way apart. I mean, is that anything close to that?
To my knowledge, this won't be related. This will be connecting with the Rocky Mount Pearson line.
Okay, very well. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, any additional questions? Hearing none, all in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? All right, and the motion carries. Thanks,
you.
Mr. Hill. All right, it's my understanding that public staff's item 4, 5, and 6 have been removed from the agenda. All right, so we will proceed with public staff item 7.
Good morning. My name is Thomas Wolcott, engineer with the Public Staff, Water, Sewer, and Telephone Division. If the commission does not object, I'll be presenting agenda items 7, 8, and 9 together today. Regarding docket numbers W218 subs 596, 607, and 615 respectively, Aqua North Carolina Inc. filed notifications of intention to begin utility service in an area contiguous to present service areas and for approval of rates. The public staff has reviewed the notifications and recommends that the commission issue the proposed orders recognizing the contiguous extension and approving rates.
Move approval of staff recommendations for items 7, 8, and 9.
I'll second it.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that items 7, 8, and 9 be approved as recommended by the public staff. Are there any questions or discussion on that motion? All right, Commissioner Tucker.
Perhaps you can answer this, Madam Chair, but I don't get to talk to public staff too much, and this may not be one that you want to answer. It may be a Chuck question. I was reviewing this, and you got a bond for $10,000, you got a bond for $50,000, you got a bond for $25,000. I wonder, I mean, it's all over the map, and some of the companies have a great deal of stake in this, serve a lot of customers in the state, and then some don't, and the bonds. Just give me cliff notes on that quickly, and I see him getting up to come to your rescue. So, he said he could answer it, that big guy.
I'll take care of it. All right, Chuck Junis with the Public Staff, Water, Sewer, Transportation, and Telephone Division. So there is a legal interpretation that the minimum bond requirement does not, the 25,000 doesn't apply directly to the contiguous extensions. There's some pushback on that. We feel that given the uniqueness of those connections, that is why we were willing to recommend approval of the KDH items. Now, obviously, those were pulled because that bond wasn't posted timely. But our other larger utilities are willing to meet that minimum requirement of 25,000 per service. And so that's why you get into 25 or 50 for some service areas where you're providing water and sewer. That's why it's the sum of 25 and 25 for each service for a total of 50,000. So that's why you're seeing some of that variation. But yeah, the uniqueness of these sort of one-off, one structure, one large home is why we're amenable to the 10,000 on the contiguous extensions.
Just quickly, do you ever raise that bond because of, I see that number is pretty common. And then in the items that were removed, there was one that had a $10,000 bond on it. I'm just trying to understand your rationale or the federal requirement or state statute that requires that.
Yes, the state statute changed, I think it was a year ago, give or take. And so that increased the minimum bond from 10,000 to 25,000 per service. In new CPCNs, transfers is usually where you're going to see a unique, much larger bond for either new companies or slightly more risky developments. And then for sort of the smaller fill-in connections that help economies of scale, you're likely to see a smaller bond because that plant is usually already built out. There's less risk there.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you, Mr. Junis. We've got a motion that's been seconded that items, let's see, 7, 8, 9 be approved as recommended by the public staff. All in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? All right, that motion carries. All right, public staff item 10.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Sashi Bhatta, engineer with the Public Staff Water, Sewer, Telephone, and Transportation Division. If it's okay with you all, I would like to present both items 10 and 11 together.
Please proceed.
These are docket number W 1305, sub 39 and subs 39 and 42. Horace Hempstead filed a notification of intention to begin operations in an area contiguous to a present service area to provide sewer utility service to Silo Ridge Development and to Bojangles Restaurant respectively in Pender County, North Carolina. The public staff has reviewed both the notifications and recommends that the commission issue the revised proposed orders provided to the commission staff, recognizing the contiguous extension, approving the rates for both dockets.
Move approval of staff recommendation for items number 10 and 11.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded that items 10 and 11 be approved as recommended by the public staff. Are there any questions or discussion on the motion? All right, hearing none, all in favor indicate with an eye.
Aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Spada.
Thank you.
The commission has before us our minutes from the October 28th staff conference. I'll take a motion. All right, it's been moved and seconded that the minutes be approved. Questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate with an eye. Is there anybody opposed? All right, those minutes are approved. All right, before we adjourn, any additional business for the commission this morning? Ms. Boswell.
Good morning. It is my pleasure to introduce our newest staff member, Mr. Stephen Wong, for the accounting division. Mr. Wong is graduate of NYU with a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in accountancy from UNC. We hired him anyway, despite that. He has spent the last 2 years with EY and has relocated back home to North Carolina.
Well, Mr. Wong, welcome. Thank you for being here with us, and we look forward to getting to work with you.
Thank you for having me on board.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Ms. Boswell. Anything else before we adjourn this morning? All right. Hearing none, we will be adjourned. Thank you very much. Off the record.